This podcast was produced by B. Haywood for Confirmed Podcast Network.
This is the Big and Lazy Podcast. Give us something good to eat. Give us something good to watch.
Intro with nothing. What up, man? It's your boy B. Haywood, and I'm here with my homie Dre. You know what I mean?
Good, bro.
What's going on with you? How you been?
Nah, shit. It's been I was up here last about a year. About a year ago.
Yeah.
About a year ago. Last time I was up here, and I told you I was gonna come back. I didn't mean to take a year, but you know. Well, no, I told you I pulled back up, bro, because you know what I'm saying. We do a lot of the same things. You know what I'm saying. We in the same field. You know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
We both. I think we both got the same mission. We just go about it differently. You know what I'm saying. But I think we both got the same mission, and yeah, bro. Shit, just working, grinding, growing.
Man, never stop working. Never stop working. That's the spirit.
Let me ask you, bro. Let's just jump into it. No, let's just jump into. I got some questions I gotta ask because a lot of shit has transpired since the last time, right? Since the last time I've been up here.
Mhm.
First and foremost, I'm gonna ask you. Well, first I'm gonna say congratulations. I think y'all did a good job of putting out the C-Tez interview. Um, I mean, y'all caught a lot of flack, a lot of backlash, but I think it was at the end of the day, I think it was beneficial, and I hope that others take a similar approach to doing content. Like, don't be afraid to stick your neck out there. Like, don't be afraid to possibly get burned. Don't be afraid to possibly be like, you know what? It could have went the other way. It could have went where everybody was like, nah, we ain't fucking with them. You know what I'm saying? They woo de woo woo, and next thing you know, the value drops. But instead, you took a chance, you bet on yourself, you trusted your content, you trusted the product, and you put it out, and ultimately got the reception, if not a slightly better reception than what you all were probably or possibly anticipating. Um, so how has I don't want to say how life has been because that's crazy, but how has the business and the setup been going post C-Tez interview?
Oh man. Uh, After the C-Tez interview, it changed. And shout out to bro. You know, I don't like how that happened, and I was pissed off when it happened. I
Right.
was like, man, I was on some fuck C-Tez shit for real.
Damn.
But cause you gotta look at it how like I feel. I'm looking at it like you trying to tear everything down that I built. Cause I know you're a powerful voice, and I know
Facts.
motherfuckers are gonna listen to what you say.
Yeah.
And that happened, but in the opposite way. And everybody was like, oh well, no, he's on some bullshit. Because let me tell you something: if you ever go on a media platform and you say some shit that you shouldn't have said, it's on you. Then nobody
For
make you
sure.
say that. You got the option to decline any questions that's asked to you, yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to answer everything. And when you come in here and you sit down, you like, man, I got a bone to pick. I got some shit to get off my chest, and you proceed to just spill the beans. That's not on me.
Yeah.
And if you watch the interview, B Fines, he barely said anything the whole interview, barely asked that man any questions.
Nah,
And he was
he let
just
him run it.
airing grievances that he had.
He let him run
And
it.
and
But
you
I'll
stuck your
say
foot in
this.
your mouth.
I'll say this though. It was a good interview. Like besides the shit that happened after the fact. In a nutshell, it was a good interview. Like from start to finish, I think B Fines did his part correctly because when you're interviewing somebody and it's almost like I guess it's gonna sound crazy, but this was y'all's Cat Williams,
Yeah,
right? This was y'all's Cat Williams,
for real.
and when Shannon realized Cat was going, he let him go. Now, of course, he tried to still squeeze in some of his standard questions towards the back end, but overall, he let him go. And ultimately went down as, depending on who you ask, one of the greatest interviews in modern history. Definitely top 5, right?
Facts.
Based off numbers, impact, whatever you want to measure it by, it did his job. I think B Fines did his job. He let him go. He didn't try to stop him. He didn't try to interfere. And I'm not saying like stop him like he was like afraid of something was gonna happen and he was afraid to stop him. But I'm saying like he didn't get in the way. You know what I'm saying? He let him answer his questions. He let him explain himself. He might have let him talk himself into a corner and then get himself out the corner at the same time. He was like a magician sometimes. Like he was. It was sometimes.
It's a whole lot of it was a whole lot of dancing around.
It was a lot, and I knew that the interview was going to be good. I knew the interview was going to be good when, oh my gosh, I can't remember exactly what B Fines asked him, but oh no, he was talking about Jack losing money during the festival.
Yeah.
And B Fines was like, "Yeah, man, I heard he lost a lot of money during the festival." And C-Tez responded by saying, "Yeah, man, everybody be gambling, like everybody losing all this money gambling on FanDuel and shit like that." He just started talking about gambling. I have no idea why. I have no idea why, but I don't know if he misheard what bruh said, but B Fines played it cool. He was like, "Yeah, it's crazy." You know what I'm saying? Because he understood at that moment. It's not my job to correct him right now. Like we know we either we knew what he meant or we didn't know what he meant or he didn't know what he meant, but it was a mistake. It could have been whatever. I just think he misheard. He responded thinking he said something else. Cool, whatever. But yeah, I think it was a good interview, like in a nutshell for what it was. Um, what what would you say? Because it did cause a ripple. The interview did cause a ripple. Um, have you all spoke to C-Tez since?
No. Uh, um, he might still be blocked on B Fine's phone, as far as I know. That man, before the interview was supposed to come out, he called that man 100. I wish I still had the screenshots, like 100 times. No lie.
C-Tez called.
Yes, 100. And that's. I'm not bullshitting. I'm not exaggerating. 100. This man was at work.
Damn.
So then he gave him my number, and I was just like, look, I could take out, you know what I'm saying, what you want me to take out. So I bleeped some shit, and then he turned around, made me look crazy, like I edited it to try to fix his words, and that's the shit that hurt me. Cause nigga, you told me to do that. You know what I'm saying? I would have just put it out raw, uncut for real. And really, and the shit. While we're here, I can say it. The only thing that was taken out and that was bleeped out was when he said the words Jack Harlow. Because he was like, well, I don't know, he has this delusion that Jack Harlow is coming back for him. You know what? Let me stop. Let me stop.
No, but I think in the midst of the interview, I think everybody knew what he said.
Mm.
Even if it was bleeped out or not, I think everybody knew what he said.
And that's what happened. People saw through his bullshit and it had the opposite effect. And then after that, everybody was like, oh, well, I fuck with y'all. Because so many people had to go and see what was going on and why he made this big, long statement on his
Yeah.
Facebook. And it's free advertising, along with the video that you made, breaking it down, which is how I really feel, how most people probably really feel about the
Yeah.
situation. But he's just not trying to say it.
Yeah. You know, I felt bad because
Because he thought it was us.
yes,
That's what happened.
yes, and I felt bad in the moment because I said, "Damn, they feel like they did that, right? I did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm not a hey, look at me type of person. Like, it is what it is. I'm not gonna correct you niggas. I don't care. I don't care enough to correct y'all. It's people that knew who did it, and it's other people that were confused who did it. Like they just thought, oh, Big and Lazy, confirmed. They did it. You know what I'm saying? It was them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, cool. Bro, I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the only one that feels that way. You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't have a problem per se, but I'm I like to try to be like a realist. You know what I mean? Like, gosh, how can I say this without fuck it? Tori and Meg. Okay.
Mhm.
I am of the believer Tori didn't do it. I don't know who did it. I don't know what happened. It doesn't make sense. It never made sense for him to shoot or attack Meg. It never. Now, if he did, he did. I'm not condoning, but it just never made sense.
Just don't add up.
Yeah, like the evidence that we had, the information that we had, it didn't make sense. And like people were like, "Oh, well, she said his music was trash. He was short." I was like, "Bro, we're talking about a grown man, bro. Stop. Like
Right.
we're talking about a grown man. You think? Come on now, stop. Like,
And this
please."
is during the
But
pandemic at the height of
yeah,
everything for
and
him.
so it's like it's the same thing with this. It's like I look at certain shit different, bro. Like I watched the Nail Tech video. I thought it was strange that C-Tez was in it. I thought it was strange he chose C-Tez. I thought it was strange in the video C-Tez was cosplaying as a boxer, knocking somebody out in the ring, a la Muhammad Ali. And what is Louisville most known for? Muhammad Ali in boxing. Now I could be reaching, bro. It really could be a reach. But out of all the sports, it had to be boxing. It just had to be boxing, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, like, again, I could be looking too much into it, but when I see shit like that, I'm like, it makes sense for him to do that if that's the play.
There's
Now, if
people
that's
that
not
are
the play,
trained to know those things.
like, do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not when I point some shit out, bruh, or when I pointed that out, I wasn't pointing out to like be like a slight to C-Tez or like a slight to Jack, because at the end of the day, it might not have been C-Tez's idea, it might not have been Jack's idea. I don't know, right? But it was chose for a reason. It seems like too obvious of a reason to have it set up like that. You know what I mean? Like it just seemed like too obvious of a reason of linking with a public figure who's good in the hood, good in lots of hood.
Mhm.
People love bro. Good guy. People love him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me reach back and grab him. Out of all the people who make music, out of all the rappers in the city, you chose him. You chose him. Why? You could have chose a bunch of people, but you chose him. Who, in my opinion, he's not a rapper.
Right.
He's an entertainer.
But in his way, in his own way, he's a Louisville icon.
For
and
sure.
and that's
People know
why
him.
another
He's a
thing,
public figure.
yeah,
He's a
a
public
very
enough
public
figure
figure.
to where when people see him, people know who he is. Started out as the fake Gucci in the club, and he got his own name now. He got his own brand now. Like, yes, people know who he is from here all the way down to Atlanta. People know. You go to Carolinas, Tennessee, wherever. They know who bruh is. There's no knock on him for that. Like, yeah, he did that. But from a Jack standpoint, what sense did the link up make? It ain't like they went to school together. You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
I doubt that they grew up together.
facts.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty like it just somebody made that link up happen and curated everything that happened, because in my humble opinion, it was a I don't want to say an image cleanup, but it was cleanup duty. It was like, hey, we're in a situation because of a former associate. he was getting blamed for that.
Mhm.
Wrongfully so. I still think niggas are stupid, but yes, they were blaming Jack for that night.
Yeah.
A lot of people were.
Yeah.
There was a video that made it a world star hip hop where some security dude was talking about Jack can't come back to the city. Like, I remember all this shit, bro. Like, I remember the aftermath of that shit. Like, people were split. People were mad. People were upset. People felt like he wasn't doing enough. People felt like he didn't do it. Like, it was so many different things where people were upset with him about. And it was misdirected. It was wrongfully so. But as a person who likes to be outside and go anywhere on a random Wednesday or a random Tuesday or a random Thursday in Louisville and hang out with some friends because I'm me, you know what I'm saying? You want to feel comfortable when you outside. You still like to do those things. You still like to feel like a human and go to Starbucks and have them write Jack Harlow's name on the side of the cup because it's like, man, they humanizing me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not too big enough to go get Starbucks in my neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not too big enough to go to a fucking a pop up rap show over here in Germantown or some shit on a Thursday night. Like, I'm not too big to go to the farmers market Tuesday morning. Not too big to be in the student section for the football game in the
Right.
middle of December, November. Not too big for this shit, bro. So if I want to continue doing these things, I need to feel safe.
Mhm.
Let's try to clean this up. Let's try to figure out a way to change the tide, bro. And again, I could be looking at it crazy. I could be looking at it different. I think Neltec came out I said in the video, Neltec came out in I think February, March or whatever. But the album dropped literally a year later. That's intentional. You know what I mean? Like that's I'm not crazy for thinking that. That's intentional to me.
Yeah.
Of all times you choose to drop it, you choose to drop it a year late. Come on, man. So now it goes from being remembered as that to now it's remembered as when the album came out. That's when you brought Drake here. That's when you shot the Churchill Downs video. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna remember that more than this.
You got a hell of a team.
Like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm not speaking Chinese. I
Yeah.
think I'm speaking perfectly
It's
clear
all
English.
industry games.
So when I was saying this stuff and I was explaining this stuff, like yes, of course, some people are gonna feel like I'm reaching. Cool. Sometimes I feel like I'm reaching too. God damn it. Because sometimes you gotta reach to get where you're going. But once you get where you're going, look around. Huh? Makes sense. Makes sense. I'm in the right area. I thought I was going the wrong direction, but now that I'm here, yeah, makes sense. You know what I mean? And so for me, I was looking at it like because I felt bad because I was like, damn, like they caught some flack based off my interpretation because it was all interpretation.
Mhm.
It was all doing the tea, reading the tea leaves, doing the science. You know what I'm saying? Like it was all my my observation. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't y'all. Y'all just provided. Y'all threw the lob. Well, I take that back. Y'all gave him the pass. He threw the lob. I dunked that bitch. Like because y'all, it was the setup.
Yeah.
It was literally our a la you want to say LeBron James 2016 block. Y'all J.R. Smith. Y'all cut Iggy off.
And then it fit with
He laid
everything
it
that
up.
he
If
was
if
saying.
he dunks it, if Iggy dunks it, that's not a block. He laid it up. He set the table for the block. You know what I'm saying? Like you did it to yourself. You could have dunked this shit, bro. You could have went a whole nother way, but instead,
You left it open for interpretation.
and you allowed me to come through and crash
I'm telling you.
that. And so, like again, bro, like that was never my intent. Like my intent when I do my videos like that, when I speak on Louisville music, or I speak on Jack, or I speak on Bryson Tiller and shit like that, it's not coming from a place of, I can't say it's not a place of assumption, because I am definitely assuming because I don't know. Right? I don't know shit. But it is coming from a place of well thought out interpretation. Like I didn't just wake up and say, "Oh, that's what it is." I sat there. Like, man, this look crazy. Why is it? Why is this over here like this? Or why does this person act like this, like this? Like why? Like what's going on here, bro? Like something don't. Let me try to figure out, and I'll be like, well, it would make sense if this was the case. You know what I mean? Like I, I, I feel like Bryson Tiller has an underlying beef with Jack. It's crazy.
Tell me more.
It's crazy. I think now I don't think it's a beef of where I hate this nigga. I don't think it's that. I don't think he hates Jack, and I think Jack loves Bryson, big bro. I think it's more of a envious animosity. Like
On
he's
why
getting
he won't come back to the city?
well, Jack's getting all the love that I feel like I should get.
Right.
All the people that I thought were in my corner that are here, that are my friends, that are the people that were helping and assisting me, blase, blase, they all they only care about Jack now. They don't care about me per se. You know what I'm saying? Which isn't true. People love Bryson, right? But when I pay attention to shit like, and I know that there's a procedure for these banners around the city, but Jack has a banner, right? Bryson originally when he dropped his tour dates for his last album, Louisville was not on there. Lexington was. Called a little flack. Fuck it. Took Lex off. No Kentucky show at all. Then he says he's not gonna perform in the city until Static Major gets a banner. That's cool. Only problem with that is it was already announced that Static was getting his banner before you said this. So you know he's getting a banner. They actually told you the summer he was getting a banner. And you're gonna try to use that as an excuse as to why you're not performing here. I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Now, you look at when they debuted Static's banner. When Static's banner was put up. What else was that week?
I don't remember. What else was that week?
The festival, Jack Harlow's festival.
Oh.
That same Saturday.
Oh. Of the banner going up.
The banner went up. The festival was that weekend.
Damn.
I don't think that is by coinkydink. I think that is part of the setup, part of the rollout. Like I think all that shit is connected. I know the second day of the festival got rained out, so maybe Tiller would have been there. Maybe. I don't think he was on the bill. As a matter of fact, I don't think he could have because I think he was doing his tour. So he wouldn't have been there. I just personally think it's strange that Jack has had Tiller on what, 2 albums?
Yeah.
2 or 3. I want to say 2.
2.
2. I don't think Jack has been on any Tiller project, to my knowledge. I don't know why. When you look around, Drake was actively pursuing Bryson Tiller as an artist. He never came to Louisville, bro. He came to Louisville one time, and it was for Jack Harlow. I'm not saying that matters a lot, but I think it does play a little bit into it. It's like you were pursuing me as an artist, and you couldn't even come here. This little little white guy is a star. And next thing I know, you shooting a music video with him at Churchill Downs. And matter of fact, I believe Bryson was there. I could be wrong. I think I vaguely remember. I don't think he's in the video. I could
I
vaguely
think it
remember.
was in the behind the scenes
But he was there. He
Yeah.
was there. So like, and again, I don't think it's I want to punch this little. Like, I don't think it's that, but I think it's a little bit of animosity because it's like, bro, like, nah, like all this shit. Like, not saying it's supposed to be mine, but nigga, I started this shit. You know what I mean? I started this shit, bro. You really eating off my back, bro. These are my fans, bro. This is my city. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying he's wrong for feeling like that, but I personally feel like that there is something there between the two. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I do think a lot of him feeling like he's not gonna come back here and perform has more to do with Jack being who Jack is versus anything else. And I could absolutely be wrong. I could be reaching. I don't know.
I mean,
We don't know.
that's crazy.
We'll probably never know. But that's just how I look at situations like that.
Why you don't got the same, you know, thanks for EST or somebody like, somebody like that. Like,
That's a different ball game because I fuck with G, fuck with his
I
music.
guess because they never cross paths. I guess.
That, but
Musically.
they're like even G's trajectory wouldn't affect Jack or Bryson. Like it's a different type of takeoff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like whereas Jack and Bryson are kind of in the same. They can kind of overlap. You know what I'm saying? Not per se the type of music, but in their field that they're in, like it's the same type of fans, it's the same type of business practices. You know, it's kind of the same shit. So yeah, we can step on each other's toes. Like G's gonna be G and do his G things regardless. Like that ain't the issue. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I think it's just a different. I think it's a slight different conversation when you look at the dynamic of those two sides.
I see what you mean. A whole different type of artist.
For sure. Well, and it's just a different type of business structure. And you know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that G never wants to perform in, I mean, be a goddamn headliner for like an arena tour. None of that. Not saying he don't want to do that, but everybody can't do arenas. Jack and Bryson can do arenas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and there's no knock on G. That's just not like there's nothing wrong with artists who can do the Mercury Ballroom or Louisville Palace. Nothing wrong with that. Currency's one of my favorite rappers of all time. He's not doing no arena. He might be able to get an arena show off in New Orleans. He's not getting that shit off nowhere else, probably. You know what I mean? And that's my dog. Like, but he's more of a if Currency came to Louisville, he's gonna be at the Mercury or Louisville Palace, or it's another one. Fuck. Is it Billards? No, him. I can't think of the name, but it's another one. He's been there before. Him and Big Crit. But this is like years ago though. But that's my point. Like, it's not gonna be. They're not performing at the Yum.
Yeah.
They're not selling out Freedom Hall. No, you know what I'm saying. And I think G could do that here. He's not going to.
He did.
He did. But I'm saying, but he's not going to goddamn uh the Pacers arena and doing that in Indiana.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's right, it's close.
He also had to have a whole host of people with him too.
Yeah, and but that's
Future.
but that's a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like usually, even when you do these shows and these events, these venues, you're gonna have a decent amount of people either opening or whatever coming out before you or with you or whatever. That's just how part it is. But yeah, they're not arena type guys. Whereas Jack and Bryson, we are. I'm an arena type guy. I can go on a world tour if I'm Bryson Tiller. You know what I'm saying? I can go and throw a festival if I'm Jack Harlow. pull this shit off. You know what I'm saying?
So, do you think a Bryson Tiller show? Okay, what's more likely to happen? A Rihanna album or a Bryson Tiller show in
Like, the Tiller. I think the not all bullshit aside, I do think that we will get a Tiller show. I want to say, I know he said he was going to take a break and make video games and shit. Um, but I think, I think for his next album, yeah, I don't, yeah, I think Rihanna has realized she doesn't have to make music. She doesn't want to make music. She doesn't feel the need to make music. Um, Rihanna is set. I think she's pregnant again. They said like she's chilling. She's. I don't think she's ever gonna make another album, bro. Anti is. I haven't played it in a while, but Anti, every time I played it, it was always a great listen. I do consider it a classic album. You know what I mean? And I think for her, I think she would be chasing that. I think she'd be chasing that, and she might not be able to give us that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She might not be ready to give us a Rihanna project where she talks about being a mom and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause yeah, I think that if she was to come out with some shit, I think she would talk about being a mom, being a wife. Like, I think she would, not saying the whole thing, but yeah, I think she would get all that shit off at least on the first time, and then after that, she's back into her, regular bag. But I think for her, I think she's like, that's pressure. You know what I mean? And I don't have to deal with that pressure because I don't need to because I got Savage X Fenty and we eating good.
And she's a yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like we eating
billion
good. I
dollar
don't have to
empire
make
over there.
music. If Rihanna ever makes music again, it's solely gonna be because she literally wants to make music. It would be for no other reason, bro.
Even her husband's in the same bag. That nigga ain't got to make another album again.
He don't
'Cause
have to.
he's
He's
off
good.
doing other fashion shit too, and got that shit going on.
Yeah.
We're never getting another Rihanna album ever. And I don't think that her the way that she used to make music, the way her sound was, it doesn't fit her lifestyle now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
she would. It would be a complete.
the passion project's not for everybody. Like this is what my life is now. This is what I love. That
Yeah,
transition, it's not for everybody.
yeah. We wanna hear that. Pour it up, Rihanna. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? We want to hear that. What's the shit? Bitch, better have my money. Like, we
man, for
want,
real.
like we want to hear that Rihanna. Like, so nah, I don't know, bro. I don't think honestly, I don't think we're gonna get a Rihanna album. I don't think we're gonna get one anytime soon. Um, and part of me feels like we don't need it. I kind of
Yeah.
don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want a Rihanna album. I don't.
I don't want you to ruin your legacy. I don't want you to ruin
In a
your run.
sense, yeah.
Don't put out no bullshit.
Yeah, you know what? It's almost like I'm so glad. I'm so glad Ryan Coogler came out and said it this week. But he said that he's not making a sequel to Sinners. I'm so glad, bro, because it's one of them movies where I feel like it could lose its lore if they start to do too much with it.
Hmm.
Like you start to spin off, you start to make sequels and prequels, and I do think I would have been cool with a sequel if it was like almost like a sequel where it was Preacher Boy living his life all the way up until we seen him become the old man,
Yeah.
right? Like I would have been okay with that in a sense, or a prequel where it goes back until um that vampire remnant.
Hmm.
It goes back and kind of shows how he got there and where it stems from as to why they were so attracted to Preacher Boy and what was going on that night.
Yeah.
Like I'd be okay with that, but I'm glad he came out and said, "Hey, I've been making franchise movies my whole life, or not say my whole life, but I've been making franchise movies for a while. I just wanted to really just pop in and pop out,
Hmm.
do it, and it's finalized. This is it. That's it. There's nothing else to it. You know what I mean? And I think that is dope, and I actually think that's gonna add to it as time goes on because now people really just got to sit with this one. This it's just one. Just sit. There is no two. There is no three. It's just
Yeah.
one. You know what I mean? And it's like
And it might be too early for this, but just cause of what I do, like I do this. Like Cinders is a classic to me for everything, the writing, the cinema, the how it was shot. Michael B played two characters. Like
classic is strong, bro.
like,
Classic is strong. I ain't
it,
gonna tell you how
black
it feel.
classic.
I ain't gonna tell you how
I
it feel.
think it's a black
See,
classic.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Why it gotta be black? Why can't it just be a classic? Why you gotta say it's a black?
Because it wasn't for white people.
No. I'm not saying it from that, but I'm saying like don't pigeonhole it and be
Got you.
like
I see what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying? It's almost uh uh like the black Captain America. Just call him Captain America, bro. Sam Wilson is Captain America, bro. He ain't gotta be the black cap. He's Captain America, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
I see
And
what you're saying. I see
so
what
I'm
you're
looking
saying.
at it like, nah, when you say Sinners is a classic, you want to hold it up against the Godfathers and Heat and Taxi and Goodwill Hunting, and you know what I'm saying? You want to hold it up against those are classics.
And I do. I'm saying I love the story. I thought it
Yeah.
was a hell of a story.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it from a creator's perspective. I think that's
Sure.
I think that's my issue because Coogler wrote it,
Facts.
directed it,
Facts.
all of that shit.
Nah, he's a bad
And
man.
then to the point where they put it on the IMAX 70 millimeter. Like
Yeah.
I loved all of that shit.
Yeah.
And how he was breaking down the difference between the different films and all that
Films and
shit.
shit, yeah.
Like I loved all of that shit. And then Michael B, I feel like he don't get enough credit as an actor. Like he
This is best job he's done.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the best job, but the
Exactly.
bar was low.
And I think that this is gonna put both of them over the top like this. Cause
I think Ryan's already there.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Ryan's there. He been there. He been
Marvel
there.
holds him in high regards, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, but you and I think I think it did more for Michael B. than I think it did Ryan.
And I love that he's like, this is my guy.
That's his guy.
This is my fucking guy, and I'm gonna work with him no matter what.
Yeah.
And like they made a masterpiece to me.
Yeah. No, the movie was. I will say that the movie was great. I will add a disclaimer. I'm not a movie person, so when I watch a movie, that's it. I'm not going back.
Oh yeah.
So when I say I'm not gonna watch it again, take that with the smallest grain of salt because it could be a phenomenal movie. I think the last movie that I watched again was Infinity War.
Mm.
Infinity War, and I did rewatch Winter Soldier. That might be my favorite. But besides those two, I don't really go back and rewatch movies, bro. Like I just don't. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna go back and rewatch it. Take it for it.
I can't wait to see it again.
But I will say I do give it about an 8.5 to about a 9. Like I can't give it a 10 because there's definitely some parts of it where I didn't really care for. Like I know it's gonna sound crazy, and it's a small section, it's a small moment, but the part where bruh's playing the guitar and he's singing in the juke joint, and it's burning or whatever, but it starts to show the different eras and elements of black music, black culture, hip hop, whatever. It's showing the guy on the electric guitar and saxophone and the drums and the turntables and shit. All that was cool. At one point, it did kind of just sound like a bunch of noise. Like it did kind of like just run. Like it just, I was like, bro, what the fuck am I listening to? Then the part where old girl was again. I don't think you have to. I get it. Twerking is associated with black people. I just felt like that would, to me personally, bro. I felt like that was low hanging fruit. I was like, bro, you don't got to put the twerking in the thing. Bro. You could have got the point across without the twerk, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping.
I do
Like maybe I'm tripping. I don't know.
agree with you on that one scene. That whole entire scene right there, it was not needed.
Like I like the idea of it though. Like to show the stuff. I just think that it was almost like a
And I get what you're
train
saying,
wreck.
but and then the movie was supposed to take place in this time period. How we jump into the future to all of these time periods that ain't happened yet? That whole part didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but I think he just used it as a like to show that this is the essence of us. It's music. No matter what year, era, culture, we dance, party, we have a good time. And I can drop you in 1940 at the spot with all the brothers and the sisters, and you're gonna fit right in because it's in you. Or I could take somebody from the 30s and bring them to now, send them to the club. It's in them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's in them. Like it's they. This is a place of home. You know what I'm saying? Like now, when it comes to other shit outside of this, I don't know. But when it comes to having a good time and partying and enjoying ourselves, that's in us, bro. That's home. And I think that's what that scene was for, was to show that like no matter what time period, we connected. Music,
Yeah.
music is the ultimate connector. Everybody knows what the fuck music is. When you hear that beat, you catch it. You know what I'm saying? Your foot might start thumping, your shoulders might start moving. I ain't never heard this song before, but how the fuck you on beat? I don't know, bro, but this shit hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's in you, bro. And I
Yeah.
think that's what that scene
I definitely get the
was for.
message,
You know
but
what I
the
mean?
imagery of it.
Yeah, the imagery was a little loony. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like it was a lot going on with the imagery. I get what it was trying to do because then it zooms out and you see Reminick, and I think it's really from Reminick's point of view as to he's seeing Preacher Boy, hearing that voice, and now he's like that burning desire. Like
Mhm.
he sees it. He's like, yeah, like I'm drawn to that. Like that's heat. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted the closer I get to that, that feels like home. You know what I'm saying? That feels like home. Like that voice. You know what I'm saying? That voice is so powerful. You know what I'm saying? The music's powerful. Like I want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that was kind of like we transitioned from that to from Preacher Boy's point of view to Ribnick's point of view. And I think that's kind of what that ultimately what that scene was for. Again, I think it was a decent scene. I just think that audio wise, I was like, bruh, I just felt like 1,000 cars crashed. Like I was like, bro, what the fuck? But it was only for like 4 or 5 seconds where everything was mashed up and then it evened back out again. You know what I'm saying? But it was a point where because it starts to pull elements from everything. As you see, you hear the drums, you see the turntables, you see the saxophone, you see the electric guitar, you start to hear all this stuff. But then everything is on 10 and then it evens back out and then goes back out to a Preacher Boy. But no, I did like that part. I just think that the audio part of it and the joint twerking, I was like, you can get your point across. Shake that ass, bro. I don't know. I could be wrong though. Some people might be like, you tripping.
Yeah,
Shake
man.
that ass.
Shout out to Ryan Coogler though.
No, Ryan's a dog, bro.
Yeah.
He really don't miss. He don't miss, bro. Ryan's a dog, bro. I still wouldn't call him a classic though. But he does. I will say Ryan does have a classic. It would probably be Fruitville.
Fruitville was good.
Fruitville. Probably be Fruitville. I want to say after that, his second best movie to me would be that first Creed.
Yeah.
Those are probably the top two: Fruitvale Station and Creed.
And did Ryan Coogler direct all the Creeds or
I
one of
think
them?
he did one and
I think he did
two.
one and two.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he did one and two. I don't think he
Because
didn't
he
do
didn't
three.
do three.
Michael B. Jordan did three, I believe.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. That was
Yeah.
his directorial debut.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone wasn't in it. It was a big thing about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I like how they've been working together for a while. He's like, this is my guy, and like, we gonna stay doing this. Do as many movies as y'all can together for real. I love that shit.
Nah, no, I think they will. I think that's the I think that's like the formula, that's his recipe. Like anytime Ryan gets a movie where he's looking for a guy, I think he's always gonna hit up Michael B first. He's always gonna hit up Michael B first. And I don't think Michael B will ever tell him no.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they look at each other like that's family, that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up in this shit with him. You know what I'm saying? Like our first major film, well, I guess you could say Michael B's was Hardball, but our first major film together was Fruitvale Station.
Yeah.
And depending on who you ask, that is an amazing movie. It's a true story. It's an amazing movie. You know what I mean? People love it.
Not a lot of people even talk about his earlier years, like the shit
Who?
that he did.
Michael
Michael
B.
B. Yeah, he been doing this shit for a long time. The
Yeah,
Wire,
yeah. The Wire, yeah, all that shit. Yeah, all that shit, bro.
Hardball. Yeah, like he been doing this shit since a kid, and like he deserved his just due, man. He been working a long time, man. I always respect the motherfucker that put their head down and stay working no matter what. Kind of much like myself, like always stay working. You know what I'm saying? Shameless plug. You know what I'm saying? We them girls, big and lazy. Check them out. But yeah, like I always respect the motherfucker that's always gonna like stay doing what they love and working hard at that shit. Like, man, do what you love to do.
Yeah.
Shit. And do that shit for real. Don't half ass it. Do that shit for real. Put your foot in it for real.
No, that's a fact. You definitely gotta. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. Ain't that what what Cole said?
Oh yeah.
Ain't that what Cole said? If you're gonna do it like you. What he said? You never did it till you do it again, or some shit. I can't remember exactly what he said, but
Something like that.
you doubling down on the do it. God damn it!
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do it like you do it. You know what I mean? And so, um, yeah, I think especially with the content and this podcasting and curating shows and putting people together and shit like that and doing and conducting interviews, I definitely think it's a pride that you it's a certain level of pride that you got to take to get to and maintain that type of vigor and stature. So it's like depending on how long you've been doing it, you know, whether it's been 2, 3, 4 years, 10 years, you know, 12 years, whatever. Um, take pride. That's it. And I think what happens is that's why I think a lot of people quit.
Yeah.
That's why I think a lot of people, if you notice, a lot of people have started podcasts. A lot of people have started YouTubes. Um, a lot of people have started, but a lot more people have stopped.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like they'll get 4, 5, 6, 7. They might get 15 episodes in, and by the 15th episode, they just feel like nobody's paying attention, or nobody's engaging, nobody's interacting, or I'm really not, you know, enjoying myself, you know, doing dot dot dot. And eventually, bruh, eventually, bruh, you come to find out who kind of like who really wants it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
who really wants to stick through it and do it?
Wait till the smoke
Because
clears.
because because there's gonna be times where the shit's not hitting. There's gonna be times where the shit's going great. Like that's just how it is. Like you can't predict how everything's gonna go. I'm pretty sure that after the C-Tez shit, y'all were like, man, we want every video after that to do that.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, right? But you
Course.
also understand that if they don't, you don't get discouraged and you be like, oh, I don't want to do this no
Oh yeah.
more.
Oh
That's
yeah.
part of it. That's
It's
part of it.
it takes, and for anybody that don't know, it's gonna take you about 100 of these motherfuckers before anybody really start noticing, before you start getting the recognition that you deserve. It's gonna take about 100 of these motherfuckers. Like if for real, if you look at any major podcast that you may listen to, any platform that you might be watching, look at how many videos and episodes of shit that they got. Like, you got to keep at this shit no matter who might or might not be watching. For
Yeah.
real. For real. I noticed that's when shit started changing. That was around. It was like pre 100. It was like 80, 90 something when the C-Tez shit happened. And then after 100, man, like, I don't know, it's something about the number 100 in people's brain, and they see it and they like, oh, triple digits.
Yeah.
They not fucking around.
No, that's nothing to to poo poo on like that. Like that's an accomplishment, especially in the content and the podcast world, because a lot of people don't make it that far. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't make it past, like I said, about 10 to 15 episodes before they quit. Some people don't even make it to 3 or 4. I know some people that did 2 episodes and they was done.
Yeah.
They ain't done a podcast in 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or you got the ones where they might do 4 or 5 in a row and then they take a 6 month break. You know what I mean? Inadverted. Maybe it's intentional. Maybe it's on purpose. I don't know. But they are always taking a break.
Yeah. And see, on some behind the scenes shit, like how I do it, I take breaks too. Don't think I don't. But I always got some shit in the tuck to where that shit is on autopilot. On all these platforms, you can put your shit on autopilot. You can make it, you can put it there and have it go out when it's time for it to go out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? You don't have to take all of these breaks. You don't. Like, you could work ahead and have that shit ready to where when it's time for you to take a break, oh, that shit's all ready to go. You in Jabip somewhere partying, you know what I'm saying? And and like your episode then uploaded itself and got the comments and got the traction or whatever. All you got to do is say, hey, go check out my shit. That's all you got to do from wherever you are on your smartphone. We got these smartphones and all this technology and shit now. Use that shit to your advantage.
Definitely use that shit to your advantage. But shit, bro.
It's got a different love for this shit, man.
No, for sure. But like I said, bro, I definitely appreciate it, bro. Sitting down,
Oh yeah.
chopping it, doing it again. It's always a good time, bro. You know what I'm saying? What I think I definitely think more people. I think more people need to reach out to bruh, get shit together because I'm telling y'all, this shit ain't easy. It's not hard. Don't 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 think I'm trying to say it ain't like it's hard. Like, but it's not easy, right? But I think if more people in Louisville, I think if more people in Kentucky actually took the time to actually sit down and work with somebody who knows what they're doing and be consistent and lock in with somebody who knows what they're doing, I'm telling you, bro, we as a whole collective would be in a much better place, bro. Like we would be on the level. I'm not saying we would be fucking Atlanta as content or goddamn not even Texas or Chicago, but we should be on that trajectory.
Yeah.
We don't have we don't
Always overlook us, so it's like we have to do it ourselves.
no, but it's I don't think it's them just overlooking. I think it's the people who are the content creators, the social media influencers, the social media comedians. I think that they as a whole don't do enough and don't necessarily put themselves out there enough.
Yeah.
Like I cannot think of a black content creator from Kentucky who is nationally known. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I don't think nobody from Kentucky is Luke Foods. I don't. That's black.
Mm-hmm.
Luke is a white guy from here.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's from E-Town. But it doesn't matter. We don't have a counterpart for us in a sense that's making waves. I don't think goddamn I can't think of his name. But he's a YouTuber. He does a lot of college football stuff for NCAA college the video game. He's a gamer,
Mhm.
right? Gamer, streamer, whatever. Huge. He does stuff with EA and all. We don't have that, right?
Yeah.
When you look to other places, whether it's Louisiana, it's Georgia, it's Texas, it's California, it's New York, it's Chicago, it's Michigan, it's wherever, they have people for all that. They got comedians, they got influencers, they got content creators. But you know what they all do? They all, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, they all work together
Yeah.
and they all use each other. Hey, I'm gonna be in your skit this week. You're gonna be in my skit next week, and then we're gonna do Jim's skit the week after that, and then we're gonna do Sarah's skit the week after that. And they all, it's like a giant nucleus
Yeah.
ecosystem, and they all, if me being in your skit gets me an extra 1,000 followers, because that's a whole new crowd every time that we post. And every time you do one of my skits, I'm getting you an extra 1,200 followers every time we post. So win-win. We all eating. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You know, so you might see the same 5 IG comedians on 5 different videos. They on 5 different profiles.
And to speak to that, I know for a fact some of you motherfuckers is just Hollywood. Like,
Oh, it's definitely some
it
people that
ain't
think
me,
they
so
bigger than what they
I
are.
can't join you because it ain't me type shit. I know for a fact
Yeah.
that B Funds then reached out to a bunch of different platforms. Like, let's do a collab. Like, come on the show, I'll come on yours, yada yada yada. Let's collab. He always willing and ready to do a collab because at the end of the day, he know what this shit is. He know the content is the bread and butter, and the more places his face is, the better for him. He knows that shit, and a lot of y'all don't think that way, and that's fucked up. Like you should be wanting to go as many places as you can to get your face out there for what it is that you do. Like comedian, music, whatever. You should be able to pull up anywhere, go have a conversation, and get your face seen, get your music heard. And y'all just not willing to do
They not. They are not, bro. So look, I advise people, if y'all take it serious, reach out to bruh, figure some shit out, get shit going, cause there's no reason why Kentucky, Louisville itself, or why Kentucky doesn't have something of that nature.
that.
Not saying it got to be the equal magnitudes, but has to be something of that nature. Like, okay, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know. It's just weird to me that we don't have that, and I think I know why we don't have that. Like, I think I know why we
Was
don't. It's a mixture of what you said, whereas people are kind of Hollywood, but also I think it's a little bit deeper than that. I think it's more so, if it's not their idea or if they're not the ones in control of it, they don't want no parts of
it? Yeah.
it. Like the person that I reached out to, I was like, look, you already do podcasts. This is years ago. I told her, you already do podcasts. You already got the audio side down. Let me come up here whenever you record. I'll set up my camera and I'll give you the option. I did the shit for y'all. I'm giving you the option for video content.
Mm-hmm.
I think I recorded like 3 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was trying to do. They turned it down. They didn't want to do it. Yeah, you tell me you don't want to do something, I'm not gonna ask a bunch of questions why. I'm just gonna say okay. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to help you twice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I'm not saying help like I was just gonna be a Mr. Fix It All, but I'm saying, like, yes, we were in the era of you need video content. Let
Yes,
me
you do.
help with that.
That's
I can help.
the hardest part. The audio is easy.
Yeah.
Video is the hard part.
Yeah. And I can help with that. And I'm not trying to help on some, I want you to pay me, or I'm trying. No, I want to help because I want to help. The fuck, if I don't want to help you, I've never asked help ever.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm asking to help because I can, and I feel like I can. Whatever situation you need help with, I feel like I can help in that situation. You know what I mean? And so, that went like that. And then you got a couple other people where I don't want to say that I'm not gonna say that they're afraid of success, but a lot of people they're afraid of reps.
Mm.
They don't take the reps. They don't get their 10,000 shots up. And that counts for stuff that we do. That counts for influencers. That counts for the models. That counts for the comedians. Like that counts for all that, because if you don't get your 10,000 shots up when it's time for you to be ready for that moment, or when it's time for you to be ready for that opportunity, you're not gonna be ready. You haven't gotten up your 10,000 shots yet. Like you have to get those reps in. You have to,
Sure.
right? Like it's plenty of, I, bro. I know it's so many artists. I've seen it multiple times where they don't practice. Like rappers who don't understand how different stages are built different. So this stage might be a little bit longer. This stage might be a little bit shorter. Like this stage got a little dip over here on the right side. This, you know what I'm saying? Like the ins and outs of the stage. Not saying you gotta sit there and study, but go out there, get a feel for the stage before your show. Get a feel for idea of how big the crowd's gonna be. Have some form of stage presence. Have some form of of practice and approach to where you're not on stage forgetting words, to where you're not on stage out of breath. You know what I'm saying? Like be able to get up on stage and actually be an MC that can command the crowd. Don't just be a motherfucker on stage with a microphone rapping over the song. You know what I'm saying? Like actually take this shit serious.
Hell
And
yeah.
and it's crazy because the ones that you see take it serious, they have such a command over the crowd, over the people there, versus the ones who necessarily don't take it serious and they don't practice. They just show up. They think that they gonna record, or they think that they gonna perform, and shit's gonna be cool. You know what I mean?
This podcast was produced by B. Haywood for Confirmed Podcast Network.